So hello guys, today we are going to start with introduction to the particulate nature of matter and chemical change, which is first subtopic of stoichiometric chemistry. The objectives of this subtopic is to write balanced chemical equations. So when you write the balanced chemical equation, what all you need to take care? You need to take care of the state symbols like solid, liquid, gas or aqueous state. And second objective is phase changes. So how the phase changes and if there is any observable change during that phase change. What you need to take care of during this subtopic, that you need to practice a variety of chemical equations which are there in due course of this subtopic or in due course of IB chemistry course. So you should be familiar with the key terms like melting, freezing, boiling, vaporization, evaporation, condensation, sublimation, deposition, etc. But you need not to take care of latent heat, so you need not to worry about it. You can find the names and symbols of elements in section 5 of the data booklet. Now something related to TOK in this subtopic, that is like you use chemical equations to express the chemical reactions. So it means the chemical equations are serving as a language. That is one TOK aspect. Another is like theories are changing. So when theories are changing from Dalton to modern quantum mechanical model, so various changes have taken place from Mendeleev periodic table to modern periodic table. So all these aspects, they are like evidence of progression, how the progress is happening in knowledge and our understanding. So that all are TOK aspect. The real life connections you can find in this unit and in this subtopic, that is food processing industry related content, like creating frozen food, processed food, etc., like refrigeration, the process, the atom economy. So they are real life like connections to this subtopic. So starting with pure substance. So pure substance has only one type of particles. So what are the examples of this? So they are like element and compound. So these two substances are always pure. One is element, another is compound. So for example, element, very common element is iron, like all the infrastructure things are made up of iron. And second is water, so H2O. So these two are element and compound, are the example of pure substance, which is only having one type of particle. Now element, the elements are given in the periodic table, so you can see like different elements in that. So what is pure substance? We have already discussed. It is a pure substance which contain only one type of atom. So any substance which has only one type of atoms, that is pure substance, that is element. So what are the examples of element? Like hydrogen, oxygen, iron, mercury, magnesium, chlorine, argon. These are all our element here in the periodic table, you can see. Now out of this whole elements which are discovered so far or which are present in the periodic table, mostly are metals, like around 118 elements are recognized so far by IUPAC. So about 85% elements are metals, rest are non-metals, and few are semi-metals. Second comes like pure substance, which is compound. So what exactly a compound, and how law of definite proportion is related to it? So according to this law of definite proportion, so atoms, they combine in definite ratio, in a fixed ratio. Thus compounds have definite proportion of atoms irrespective of their source. So for example, if water is there, so water has 11.11% hydrogen. No matter you take it from sampled like packaged water or river water or tap water, water in India or America or in Australia or Japan or Tanzania, anywhere, like, so all the samples of water will have the definite proportion between hydrogen and oxygen. So that is law of definite proportion. That means altogether we can say a compound is, what is the compound now? The compound is like which is a combination of atoms in definite proportion, in fixed proportion, which is not having its own properties, which is having the properties of now the latest one, which is a compound. So for example, hydrogen. So hydrogen is flammable substance, we know. Oxygen is supporter of combustion, but water, neither of them. So that is how the compound is. So in other words, hydrogen and oxygen has mass in the ratio of 1:8, irrespective of the source of water, as I told you. So that is law of definite proportion. So now moving further, impure substance. So impure substance has two or more than two types of substances in it. For example, like mixtures. So mixtures are always having not one type of particles, they have many, minimum two. Okay, if more than two, then also fine. So they all are impure substances. So mixtures are the examples of impure substance. Now the mixtures, what is a mixture? So the mixture is the physical combination of two or more type of substances. So for example, air is a mixture of gases, dust particles and water vapors. You might have seen a glass of water, a cold water, and you see water droplets comes around surrounding the wall of the glass tumbler. So from where they come? So they come from the surroundings. So because of the temperature difference, they like come and settle on the wall of the tumbler, glass tumbler. So that shows that air is containing water vapors. Air is a mixture of gases, dust particles and water vapor. It means three different type of substances are here, though because gases, not only one gas but different gases are there. The major contribution we know is nitrogen, second most is oxygen, and other gases are in little quantities. So we are not going to discuss that, but our understanding is what is a mixture. So mixture is the physical combination of two or more types of substances, and air is a mixture. Now how many types of mixtures could be there? So the mixtures are basically of two types based on what are they, like what are the ways in which they are like containing the substituent particles. So for example, like we see, like when we dissolve salt into water, the salt is completely dissolved. That means we can say that salt is dissolved in water and it is gone, like it is disappeared. So it is equally distributed. So homogeneous mixture. So homo means equal. Thus such mixtures contain equal distribution of particles. We cannot see particles of such mixtures by naked eyes. So when we dissolve salt into water, we never can see like where is the salt. So we can't see the salt particle in that water. So we cannot see particles of such mixtures by naked eyes. All solutions are homogeneous mixtures. So for example, acid solution, salt solution, etc. So they are all homogeneous mixtures. Whereas heterogeneous mixtures, so hetero means unequal. So such mixtures contain unequal distribution of particles, and we can see the particles either by naked eyes or microscope. So examples are colloid and suspension. They are two types of mixtures which are heterogeneous. Like for example, milk. You might be using milk, or you must have seen that. So milk, though we talk like milk is pure or milk is impure. So milk is impure substance, and what type of substance they are? That is a mixture. So why it is a mixture? Because it is not one type of substance in it. In its the oil droplets are there, the water content is there. So that is why it is not pure, and it is not homogeneous. It is heterogeneous mixture. So it's a type of colloid, we can say. So moving further, what is a solution? So solution is a combination of solute and solvent. So solute and solvent. For example, you are mixing, you are dissolving salt into water. So salt is solute and water is a solvent. So solute, substance with a smaller amount in a solution, and solvent, substance with larger amount in a solution. So for example, if sulfuric acid is dissolved in water, sulfuric acid is a solid and water is a solvent. So together they are making a acidic solution or sulfuric acid solution. Now moving further, matter. What is a matter? We are learning it right from very beginning in smaller classes. So anything which occupies space and has a mass is called matter. For example, like air, water, oil, wood, iron, etc. These all are metals, matter, or examples of matter. Types of matter. Matter is basically of three types: solid, liquid, and gas. So here, like solids, you know that they have fixed shape and volume. They do not change like that. Liquids, they take, when we have water, we can drop it into glass tumbler, we can drop it into test tube, we can drop it into beaker, we can drop it into conical flask. So that shape is changing. So takes shape of container and forms horizontal surface, has fixed volume. So third is gas. We know if we like use incense stick, when we use perfumes, when we use deos, or the smell of the hot sizzling food, that means wherever it gets space, it just fill up the total one, like all the space. So expand to fill container, or anywhere wherever it gets the place to like to fill. Moving further, so solids. So solids, like you can see this in this diagram. So they are, particles are held very close to each other in solids in a regular order. So that means solid particles, they are together, very close together, and they are in a regular order. So if you see these particles, they are in like regular order, and there is very little freedom of movement due to strong attractive forces between particles. As a result, solids have definite volume and definite shape. They don't change like as simple. So here I give you a food for thought. Like, is clay a solid or liquid? Why is it solid or liquid? So you can think and like discuss, or you can search for that. I know that you can write few examples of solid. Moving further, so second is like liquids. So if you see these diagrams, like solid, liquid, and gas, you can get little like clarity on that. So in solid, you have seen the perfect order of the like particles, and they are together. In liquid, there is little order and they are like spread, and gas particles, they are like very far away from each other. So what happens in liquids? So particles are close to each other, but they can move around due to weaker attractive forces between particles compared to solid particles. As a result, liquids have definite volume but do not have definite shape, like they get the shape of the container. So they acquire the shape of the container in which they are kept. Now if I ask you name 5 liquids, so I know you can write them. Food for thought: is toothpaste a liquid or a solid, or what? So you can like search for that. So I leave it to you. Now moving further, like gas. So as we have seen the particles in gas. So particles are far apart, their movement is easy and fast due to negligible attractive forces. So very weak forces of attraction between the particles. So gases have neither definite volume nor definite shape because there is less attraction. They completely occupy the space in the container in which they are placed. Again the same question, name 5 gases. I know you can do that. Now food for thought, that is a challenge. Is gas or vapor same? Why or why not? So I leave it to you. Now interconversion of states of matter. So if you see, this is a cooling curve, and like what is happening into this. So the states of matter are interconvertible by changing the conditions of temperature and pressure. So we can change any state from one state to another state of a substance by changing the conditions of temperature and pressure. So on heating, a solid usually changes to a liquid, and liquid on further heating changes to gas or vapor. We have seen this. This is a like daily life example related to ice and water and things. So in the reverse process, a gas on cooling liquefies to a liquid, and the liquid on further cooling freezes to solid. So that we have seen. The sublimation is the change of solid state into gaseous state without changing into liquid. So direct, like change from solid to gas. For example, like camphor, many people use camphor at home. Ammonium chloride and naphthalene balls. We normally use these naphthalene balls like white moth balls, we call it, and we keep it for keeping our clothes or stored clothes safe, and we use it to hang on or to keep in our washrooms to keep the smell like in check, and to let it be clean. Deposition is the change of gaseous state into solid, so it is just like opposite to the sublimation. So deposition is the change of gaseous state into solid state. For example, gas deposition on water. We will see this more in detail in acid deposition in unit 8 in IB chemistry. So if you see this cooling curve, so solid is changing, and what is the process happening? Melting. Liquid is changing, what is the process? Boiling. And what is here prominent? The temperature. So that is how it is changing the or interconverting from one state to another state. Now moving further, Dalton's atomic theory. Matter is made up of tiny particles called atoms. This is being told by John Dalton. Atoms of same elements are same, while atoms of different elements are different. However, discovery of isotopes and isobars proved him wrong, because till his time isotopes were not there, isobars were not there. But now we all know, like hydrogen has protium, deuterium and tritium, chlorine 35 and chlorine 37, carbon 12, 13 and 14 are there. So these all are isotopes. So we can say like this point, atoms of same element are same while atoms of different elements are different, is no more like true. Isotopes, atoms of same elements with different number of neutrons or mass number, so they are isotopes. So hydrogen has 3 isotopes, protium 1h1, deuterium 1h2 and tritium 1h3. Carbon has 12, 13 and 14 type of atoms, so they are all isotopes. Atoms combine in fixed ratio to form compounds. Atoms can neither be created nor destroyed. Latest discoveries proved that new elements can be created by nuclear reactions, not by the chemical reactions. So that is a few points from Dalton's atomic theory. So moving further, what is a chemical equation? So we have already seen, or we have discussed that we use chemical equations as a language to represent the chemical reactions. So what is a chemical equation? So it is symbolic representation of a chemical reaction basically. So for example, to represent the chemical reaction between sodium metal and oxygen, the following equation is represented, like Na plus O2 gives Na2O. I know you might have seen this very fantastic like chemical reaction. So sodium, it's a silvery metal, but it is deposited with oxide layer. Why it happens? Because the sodium is reactive metal and it can react with oxygen. So that is why sodium oxide is formed on the surface of sodium metal, and that is why it is kept immersed in kerosene oil or solvent, so it does not come in contact with air. So as soon as like sodium comes in contact with surrounding, like if air is coming, so then at that time what will happen? It will always form sodium oxide. So Na2O will be formed in that case. So next comes, if we have written the equation, is it balanced? So because in IB you need to have a balanced chemical equation. So the chemical equation which has equal number of atoms on left hand side, that is reactant side, and right hand side, which is product side, is called a balanced chemical equation. So in the above equation, the number of atoms is not equal on left and right sides, so we should balance the equation. Which above equation I am referring to? This sodium plus oxygen gives sodium oxide. So left side it is 1 sodium atom and right side it is 2 sodium atoms, so they are not balanced. So we should balance the above equation. So it is to be noted that we cannot change the formula of molecules of elements. So we cannot just make it like NaO2. No, not that way. So it is to be noted, you must note it, that we cannot change the formula of molecules of elements and compounds. We cannot make it our own way. If sodium oxide formula is Na2O, you have to write it Na2O to balance, and we can only use the number of moles in the front of reactants and products in the equation, that is stoichiometric coefficients. So balancing equations, so few steps you can use. So step 1, atoms of sodium on left side is 1 while right side is 2, so we should equal the number. So what we do, so on left side we put 2 in front of sodium, that makes sodium equal. Now step 2, atom of oxygen on left side is 2 whereas on right side it is 1, so we should equal this number by dividing the oxygen mole by 2 on left side. So instead of this 1 here in the reactant side, we make it 1 by 2, so it becomes 2 Na plus 1 by 2 O2 gives Na2O. So 1 by 2 O2 means 1 oxygen of atom. So step 3, lastly the state symbols should be assigned to reactants and products. Sodium is a solid metal at room temperature, so we should write S in bracket. Oxygen is a gas, so we should write gas in bracket, and sodium oxide is a solid, so we should write solid. So these steps we can follow while we are balancing the equation or writing the balanced equations. I hope you are getting it. State symbols, they are very important. So in chemical equations, state symbols are very important to get marks in IB diploma exams. It is not difficult to use state symbols in chemical equations. State symbols are symbols used to represent the physical state of reactant and product in a chemical equation. So for example, like white solid magnesium oxide is formed when magnesium metal ribbon is burnt in air. I know you might have done this experiment in your chemistry laboratory. So magnesium plus oxygen gives magnesium oxide. So magnesium, we know magnesium ribbon is solid. Oxygen gas, which is like everywhere in atmosphere, so that is gas. Magnesium oxide, when we burn magnesium, it forms white colored oxide, so it is solid. So here you are given with a few like equations, so to balance them and to write them, they are like state symbols. Okay, so that's how we are ending this subtopic. So you can like practice it, you can see this video again and again and pause it and do the required things.